Hello, my beautiful ladies and gentlemen. How are you? So I said gentlemen, but we actually are only going out to the Diamond Beauties today. So, my beautiful ladies, how are you feeling? We are so excited. We are 1 minute late. Wow, 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 I'm sorry.
We just
But
on time. We on time,
yes.
Sydney. Don't stay late. We on time.
Yes, we had just a meeting with beautiful Aaron, the president of E360 TV, and we had our first meeting of all the beautiful ladies that would like to be TV hosts on Your Voice TV network. So it will be falling under the umbrella for the Diamond Beauties and the Tanzanite Heroes, but under E360. And it was an exciting meeting. So I'm truly blessed. So my beautiful ladies are here in the house. My beautiful Mrs. Potts, and just wanted to let you know. Some have asked me why Mrs. Potts. So I don't know if you know Beauty and the Beast, that beautiful Mrs. Potts that was uh, taking care of the whole household. And then she had a little son, Chip, as well, that she always friendly and upbeat and just wanted everybody to feel wonderful. And when Bella entered the house, she also took care of Bella as well. So for me, my two most favorite fairy tales of all is The Wizard of Oz, Dorothy and The Wizard of Oz. And that was pertaining to I was small, but when I was older, I loved Beauty and the Beast. And I always wanted to have a dress like Bella. And then I met Portia, and Portia told me her matric, or not matric, we call it in South Africa matric, but what is
Prom. It was
your
prom.
prom, you had a Bella dress. So I am gonna see if I can get something right to spotlight you. Let me see. And then I was watching a few videos on Wave.video to enhance my back end so that I can also help my beautiful new host with their Wave.net. So can you tell us, my beautiful Portia, about your prom dress?
Oh yeah. So hello everybody. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Portia Booker. I'm the host of the Grief Grand Tour TV show on E360 TV, where we focus on embracing gratitude in order to evolve grief. So Saneet, I too am a big fan of Beauty and the Beast. That is my favorite Disney movie of all time. I actually have a Belle doll hanging up in my room that I keep. It's still in the box. So my prom dress. So back in, I'll just date myself, back in 2010. So this is May of 2010. I knew that I wanted a prom dress that was different than what other people had, right? A lot of people wanted kind of what I like to call the trendy dresses. I think back then the long poofy dresses were slowly coming out of style back in that time. Where a lot of people wanted more of the flash it all or show it all for free. I'll just put it in a nice way, right? And that's okay, right? To each of his own. But I knew for me, yellow to me was that symbolization of sunshine, of warmth, of being confident in your own skin, and yellow looks very good on my skin. And I remember when my mother and father, when they got along, God rest both of their souls, they took me to go and find this dress. And I must say that the dress was custom made. It's a 10-pound canary yellow dress with a custom built corset. I also had the gloves, I had the tiara, I had the custom jewelry for it, and even my corsage. My prom date, actually, it's funny, Sunita, I ran into my prom date in December of 23, and I haven't seen him in years. And
Wow.
he found me. Me and my good friend Corey, we went to go see the Trans Siberian Orchestra. Those of you who've never seen them, they're amazing live if you ever get to see them. And I just knew like that color just was what I wanted. And my mom, I'm going to try and talk without crying about this, but one of the reasons why I kept this prom dress still to this day is because my mother said to me she was going to wear it for my wedding day.
Mhm.
And so even though my mom has transitioned, I still have the dress. I still have it as a reminder of that beautiful time of my mother being able to see me off to prom and, driving me there. And so I'll always hold on to that dress. And maybe, if I have kids, my daughter will wear that dress. We'll see. I'm just going to keep it. But to answer your question, Sunit, that particular color, that was the exact replica is what I wanted, was Belle's dress.
Wow, amazing, amazing. So while you were not talking, my beautiful one, can you tell us about your when are you Mrs. Potts and what is your tea party all about?
Oh man. So my Mrs. Potts is every Saturday the Fun House from 8:30 Eastern Standard Time to 9:30, where we come in and discuss grief, gratitude. We start off with my gratitude wheel, right? Because I'm very big on gratitude. Those of so Sanit, Cindy, and Nicole, you've all have been in my Saturday fun house. So I've dressed as Wonder Woman. I've done my minion. And I just like to make things about fun, right? When we think about Beauty and the Beast, the one thing that comes to my mind, Sunit, is always the part where Belle is hungry and Mrs. Potts, Chip, the clock, all of them are like, be our guest, right? We want to entertain our guests, right? So why not entertain them with laughter, with fun, with spontaneity? And I think and I get really passionate, you guys can tell I'm super passionate about this because I've been so deep in my grief journey, I forgot how to have fun. I
Mm.
forgot what it was like to incorporate joy into my life. And now that I'm slowly crawling out of that, it feels amazing to finally feel that joy, right? It's so easy for us to go back to that dark, gloomy place of grief, but it's something freeing when you finally wake up and say, you know what? I can enjoy life and honor my grief. I can create new memories with other people, new experiences, and incorporate the love that I had for my mother and father in them as well. So it's been a unique journey, Sunny, to get to this point in my life. Because for the last 2 years, I've just been kind of in what I like to call quicksand. I've been in
Mm.
quicksand to the point that I've just disconnected from people because when you're in grief, you feel alone. It's hard for you to see the duality in life until you start to find your own rhythm all over again. So this past weekend, y'all, I had a ball at my friend's wedding. Shout out to my friends Jamie and Corey for your beautiful wedding. I don't remember the last time, y'all, that I danced so much and sweated so much to the point like, okay, I don't mean to take all this up, but I'm going to share with you guys a funny story. So the wedding was beautiful. It started pouring raining, Sanit, like what you are experiencing currently. And I didn't bring my umbrella or my coat right inside of the venue. So I had to walk to my car when it's pouring raining. So I get to my car, my blazer is soaked, my shirt is soaked. The only thing that's not soaked is my hair. My hair stayed good. That's the one thing that I will say. Hair stayed good. So you guys know what I did? I'm glad I had my winter coat in the car. So I literally had to put on a different shirt in my car with my winter coat and drive home with my flip flops, winter coat, and the heat on. So there's you guys' laugh. But that's the thing. When I think about it now, it's hilarious, right? Somebody probably look at me like, Portia, are you sure there wasn't adult 2.0 beverages involved? No. There was no adult things involved. This was pure like, you know what? I don't want to drive home with wet clothes on. I'm just gonna hang them up. I'll come back out later on in the day to come get them, but I'm gonna go home, be warm in my coat, even though I've got flip flops on, and it's pouring rain.
Wow, amazing. So, my beautiful Portia, I will come back to you. I'm going to speak to Dor, our beautiful Sunday, Mrs. Potts. And I do apologize. I was not there yesterday. I was doing the recording for our Easter Sunday. So, my beautiful Dor, your amazing video you have, a photo you sent me with that black and white photo with joy. That is how I see you. I know you're almost 3 years. May it will be 3 years, and you are just joy. You are motivating so many people. So please tell us about your Sunday, Mrs. Potts, and how, with all the people that are attending, how did they feel being with everything that you have done for your beautiful sessions?
Well, my beloved friend, first of all, thank you for the opportunity to do the Mrs. Potts on Sunday afternoon. And the reason you chose me, and Sunday is a Sabbath, as I consider a Sabbath in my faith. And so when she asked me to represent Sunday for Mrs. Potts, I know Mrs. Potts, and I love a lot of the Disney movies and the beautiful gowns that the women wore, and I loved Sleeping Beauty's gown, and so I've always loved those dressing up like that, Portia. So I can totally relate to what how you dressed. It's like, yeah, we're bringing it. So anyway, for me, the instant Sanet asked me to represent Sunday, I knew what I was going to call my Sunday. I call it savoring the spirit. So for me, and for so many of us who God wants us to have quiet respite time and freedom from distractions. And we have that going on all week long unless we uh, can make time to pause. And I love the word pause because that's basically what we're doing for 30 minutes. And I try to respect everybody's time and keep it at 30 minutes unless people ask, to want to go longer. But we just make it a quality 30 minutes of heart to heart expressing the challenges that we have about spending time alone with God and getting rest, getting filled up again so we can get filled up. We can't give anything out if we're not filled up. If we're drained and exhausted and distracted, we're not taking care of ourselves. And Sanet represents self-love. So learning how to care for ourselves is extremely important to me and to mentor other women about how to do that as well. So I invite my guests to please give their solutions or their struggles. And so we just chat. We're just talking about, well, I started out talking about how much I need this because I get distracted so easily that the very first time I did my show, we talked about how do you prevent distractions? And one of my friends says, well, I take my phone, put it in the bathroom, lock the door, and then I go into another room to meditate. So we all know that our phones are a wonderful tool, but they're also it can be a distraction for us. So to make that quality time. So I thought that's a great idea. So when the show was done, I proceeded to drive out. It was a beautiful day. Drive out to the lake, and I'm gonna just enjoy the sunshine and the breeze. I opened the car windows, and guess what I did? I proceeded to pull my phone out of my purse, and I grazed on social media for an hour. That was not my intention at all. The next day, God reminded me, hey, guess what you did yesterday, honey? So I decided I'm going to have to confess this to the ladies the next week. So I did confess it. At any rate, being vulnerable is so good for us. We women, being vulnerable, we start building trust with one another. So at any rate, we're learning of various opportunities and ways of uh, avoiding distractions, just even if it's for a couple of minutes. It gets us filled up so that we can give out. So anyway, it's fun. I'm looking forward to it. And the people who need to be there, this is how I feel. I pray, and I invite through text with the address and the password because so many people are just not savvy with using their computers and addresses and passwords and that. So I try to make it easy for them. And whoever God wants to be there with us on Sunday at 1 o'clock Central Standard Time are there. So I'm always honored and pleased with who shows up. And the one time that I didn't promote, and I was taking a training that whole weekend, but I was anxious to stick with my commitment. from a training I was taking. Sanet was there for me, so we had a nice connection. It was just the way it was meant to be. Again, so anyway, it's from week to week, and I'm enjoying it and feeling the presence of God. We pray, ask questions, come up with solutions. We laugh a lot because we're all so vulnerable. And Portia, yeah, my middle name when I went through breast cancer, hon, I named myself Fun. So my name is Dar Fun because I decided I was going to have fun going through that trial. Most of my sphere of influence people know me as Dar Fun. So anyway,
Amazing, amazing. Thank you, my beautiful Dor. You are truly amazing. My beautiful Cindy, you are our Friday Mrs. Spots. And just before I give it to you, I just wanted to let you know, my beautiful ladies, our Mrs. Spots for Tuesday, she is in Taiwan, and it's now 3 o'clock in the morning, but she is gonna go to Canada the middle of May. So she said she will be joining us the first week or the second week in June. She will be here. And then Anjana let us know that she is on her astrology course, so she cannot be here. And then I know Teresa, our Thursday Mrs. Potts, could also not make today, but the rest of the team are here. So my beautiful Cindy, can you tell us your name and a little bit about your Mrs. Potts?
Absolutely. So, hi, everybody. I'm Cindy Edington, transformational life coach, certified yoga therapist, Reiki master teacher, EFT practitioner. I've heard people say when I rattle all this off, you need to add the and a bag of chips. Ha ha. That's my joke to this. But seriously, what I specialize in is helping women rise like a phoenix, if you will, from the ashes of divorce and rewrite their new happy ever after. And I say that only because I've been through a heartbreaking divorce myself, so I understand a lot of the struggles that come along with that. So the Friday Mrs. Potts is Tranquil Hearts a Cup of Comfort, cozy conversations to uplift your day. And so far, it's just been I like to create a space where people can come, women can come as you are. I always say this all the time when I put out my little reminder survey. Come as you are. I don't care if you're in pajamas or if you're dressed to the nines. Just come as you are. It's really meant to be a safe space for you to come and open up and talk about. We talk about a variety of different things. This past weekend I did oracle card. I pulled an oracle card and we all kind of went around the room and talked about what regeneration means for us. But we've talked about a couple of different topics. It might be self-discovery, or how do we embrace change, or self-care. So the topics aren't really set in stone. It's whoever comes that day and what's happening in our lives, and we bring it up. And then again, creating that safe space so everybody can share of like what they're thinking about or feeling. And I found it's really phenomenal because it's always just what everybody needed.
Yes.
So the conversation, we kind of like tag team off of one another. And there's always something that happens or a topic that comes up, but it's something that seems like everybody needed to talk about that day. And so, for me, what I love about it is that as givers, I think a lot of women, especially in this group, are givers and givers and givers. It's nice then to receive. And so these are the kinds of communities where as much as we're all giving, we're all receiving back at the same time. So it's a really great way to like, again, boost your energy for the day, get maybe a new kernel or a little insight that you can take away with you for the day and just feel really uplifted. And so that to me is the goal of what I think what we're all trying to do. We're all packaging it maybe a little bit differently and bringing our own personality to the table. Fantastic. And I highly recommend, but I want to warmly invite anybody who hasn't come yet, come join us. Come join us. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised at the level of support and community that you will feel when you come into any of the Mrs. Potts. So with that, what else do I have to say? Probably nothing. Just come on in. Come on in. The
Wow.
water's nice. It feels good.
So in Jenna said so true, Cindy in Jenna. Oh wow, that's amazing. And then our Monday, Mrs. Potts. So I was in traffic today. I could not be with you, but I said, please remind everyone they must go and join. So I just wanted to say sorry, I was not there, but I was not driving. I could go in. But the thing for me is my cell phone doesn't want to pick up Zoom. It keeps on download the app. Download. I don't know why this thing is. I have downloaded that app a few times. This still today. I said to my husband, Zoom. Zoom, Zoom, Zoom. It doesn't want to work. My beautiful Mrs. Potts for Monday, my beautiful Nicole. Can you tell us your name and a little bit about your beautiful sessions?
Yes, thank you so much because, I'm Nicole Harvick. I never thought I'd be doing a Mrs. Potts room, but when you're working with Sanet and she just explains it to you, and you're like, yeah, I'm Mrs. Potts. So the minute she asked me, I knew it was something I wanted to do, especially because I knew it was going to be rooms that people could come into and just share their heart. I knew there was safety there. I knew there was acceptance there, and I knew there was no judgment there. And for me, those are very important words that I use in my vocabulary because there's so much judgment in the world right now, so much bad information. And I just wanted a place when you described it to me. And when I envisioned Mrs. Potts, it was like, she was fun. She was funny. She loved her little boy Chip. And I just knew that I wanted to do that. And I have to tell you, there's been some quirkiness in my Zoom as well, but today was so amazing because the question was, we talked about self-love, which I think all of us agree is a very important topic right now. And it was how to help someone understand why they should love themselves. And what were there, six of us in the room, Cindy, I think.
Six
And
or seven. Yeah, it was a nice crowd this morning.
yeah, and it was so wonderful because everybody brought a unique perspective to it. And my room is, I like to call my room come in for wisdom and for knowledge. And for me, knowledge is reading a book or researching or finding the answers to your question. But wisdom is something that I feel is either passed down or it's gained through life's experience, or for me, a little older, a little wiser. But that's what wisdom is. And we had both today. And it was so beautiful that everybody opened up. Everybody was very candid about their stories. They shared things I didn't expect. But the one thing that they know is no one's going to judge them there. No one's going to judge them. And what is talked about in the room stays in the room. And I so appreciate that people came in, they spoke, they talked about themselves, they told stories, and it did my heart good to know that people were opening up in that room, because so many people, like you said, aren't heard, aren't listened to, aren't cared about. And I think we went an hour today. And yeah, I think we could have gone longer, but a few of us had to jump off. But it was really a spectacular room today. And I'm so appreciative for the space you give us to let us bring in those people that need other people, and allowing us to just let us flow with the topic that resonates with everyone in that moment of that now.
I
So
love that.
thank you.
Oh, thank you, my beautiful Nicole. And my Nicole and Cindy, I asked you the same time. You were together, and I was asking, and you were like, okay, we are in, we are in. I have spoken to Dar, and I said to her, there's no one else that I would love for Sunday. And she said, okay, she's in. But I wanted to tell you about Portia, but just give me 1 second before telling you about Portia. The same with Therese and the same with Lisa. Lisa, I actually dreamt that me and she was together with Mrs. Spot. So I told her about my amazing dream, and she also loved being Mrs. Spot. But just before I'm gonna say something to Portia or ask Portia a question, I have for me, being in the Mrs. Potts is like, for me, it's the, I would call it the cherry on the cake, because I can just be, and I can observe what you, all you beautiful hosts are helping other ladies to be seen, to be heard. And then as soon as we finish with that session, I'm the proud mama on my side, because you have done an amazing, amazing session. And every time when I'm finished, I say to God, thank you. Thank you for the vision that he gave me. And I have saw a few sessions that through another lady's story have changed another lady's life. We have witnessed quite a few extraordinary, life changing changes that happen on Mrs. Spots, and that make me even more thankful. I have now almost 20 months down the road with my coffee chat. I have now done today 419 coffee chats, and there's a lot of lonely people out there. A lot, a lot. So, my beautiful ones, even if you are in a marriage, if you want to be seen, want to be heard, come and join any of the Mrs. Spots. Come and join every Mrs. Spots. I try my best to be there with everyone. Come and enjoy. You will never know how enriched your life is going to be after a session. So, my beautiful Portia, can you tell the ladies what happened to you when I asked you to be a Mrs. Potts?
When Sunita originally asked me, I was like, I wasn't feeling it at first because initially my mind is like, okay, I don't really know her. What does she want? Right? That's immediately what does she want? And there was something kind of like, when you slip on the banana peel and you fall on the ground because the ground is there. It was kind of like that dope moment for me, like, duh, Portia, you wanted to start hosting groups and help people with their grief. So here's the invitation, here's the baton. And when we ask for something, we never know how it's going to manifest, right? So Saneet circles back to me like the next day. I was like, Saneet, give me until the following week and I'll let you know. She circles back to me and she says, I'm ready to announce that you're my Mrs. Potts, but I can't just yet until you say yes. And I've already told Saneet the fact that I got up at 4 o'clock in the morning to have a dance with her over Zoom, that already tells me, like, yeah, I'll get up. Yes, Saneet, fine. So the very first Mrs. Potts that I had, I think Cindy and Nicole, you guys know about this story. I woke up, the clock said 8:20, and my Mrs. Potts was supposed to start at 8:30. So I get up, run and take the dog out, had to hurry up and throw on something so I don't scare people away. And I made it onto the Mrs. Potts at 8:30 to open the room. And nobody would believe me that I was literally rushing around like a chicken with its head cut off, trying to find where the head was thrown type of thing. It was just a mess. But I made it. But that's the thing, you just roll with it, right? You roll with it like, you're on a roll like butter. You just keep going. Like,
And now, my beautiful Portia, how do you feel doing quite a few sessions?
Saneet, we are a month and 2 weeks in of me doing the Mrs. Potts. And I have to admit, like, even if I'm tired, like if my weeks have just been full of producing, editing, those Mrs. Potts calls, even though I'm like facilitating it, they fill my cup up. Sometimes some of the people that come in there, what they say resonate with my soul so deeply. So for me, it's kind of like what Dar said, where we reserve kind of a day of the week for faith, prayer, worship. For me, that's my cup being refilled. Every single week, I look forward to that. I don't care if I'm on vacation somewhere, I will be on that Mrs. Potts. I don't care. Even if I'm off camera, because I've got a little bit of a wardrobe malfunction 2.0 going on, I would still find a way to be on there because I love them so much. And this community is truly inspirational. Like Nicole, when you talked about words of wisdom, Cindy, you brought up your oracle cards. Dar, you talked about reserving that time for our faith, for the God of our understanding. And Sanit, just your overall vision, that like Mother Earth oracle overseer, right? I feel like I learn from each and every one of y'all all the time. The community you created, Sanit, it's almost like an endless well, right? There's not one person who I haven't encountered that fills my cup up with a new thought or a new way of trying to see the world. So it's truly amazing.
Wow, amazing. Thank you, my beautiful Portia. Dar, you are doing Mrs. Potts a little bit longer. How are you feeling, my beautiful one?
A little bit longer. No, I'm not. I'm doing 30 minutes. So
No,
perhaps
no,
there was
no, sorry. I mean, you are doing it from December, a little bit longer than Portia, just a little
oh,
bit longer. Yes,
I get it. No, since November. I started in November with you.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So I just am feeling more and more empowered by it to release and let God orchestrate it all. I want to see how good I can get at letting God work through me to bless other women. And so one day at a time, I'm doing that.
Oh, wow.
And
I love it.
it turns out to be what God wants it to be. And that's what I am accepting and appreciating and valuing, that I don't have to be so much in control because that gets me frustrated and anxious. So it gives me peace and confidence and the trust that it's all going to work out better than I could plan.
Yes, yes, I love it. I love it. And you always say it's not a coincidence. It's a
God incidents.
yes, I love it. I love it. And thank you for being my cup filler as well, my beautiful Dor. Every Wednesday we have a meeting, and then Dor, you are my warrior, prayer warrior. And if there's something that's coming next week or something that it's big for me, I just ask Dor, please pray for me, because if I know if it's two of us praying, I know that it will be all good. Thank you, my beautiful Dor.
Thank you.
Cindy, how are you feeling being a Mrs. Potts?
I love it. I again didn't know what it was going to be all about when you asked. I was like, of course, of course. Both Nicole and I were like, well, yes, we will do this. So it's only been a short amount of time as well. It's only been, I think, a little over a month for myself and Nicole as well, just like you, Portia. But yeah, like it's just, to me, again, it fills up my cup, as everybody's saying the same thing here. It's just such an enriching experience to put yourself out there too, because for those who don't know, this is the first for me getting out here speaking more, telling more of my story, sharing more of who I am in a very authentic way. So this has been my year. I declared my power word at the beginning of the year is yes, but it's yes with discernment, right? So I don't want to dilute myself out too much. So I really want to focus in on those things that are really going to like fill me up. So as much as I give out, it's that whole give and take, but I want it to fill me up too, so
Yeah.
that it's not just me willy nilly. Oh, let me do this or let me do that, or let me get myself out this way. I'm very, very particular now of like where I want to put my energies, and I want to put my energies in a place where it's a really positive, uplifting, where again, not only my voice but everybody else's voice can be heard. That you can literally come to the table and say something really maybe profound or interesting, but positive. Bring out the positive in one another. So I just think that there's this really cool right now electric connection. We're all kind of plugging in to one another in a really neat way, and it just creates so much energy. And that's what
Wow.
I love about it, right? It's like we're all like, boop, little light bulbs now, all plugged in and lit up.
I love it. And last night, our male celebrity is all the way from Las Vegas. He's a seven world champion on ballroom dancing or Latin American dancing. I'm not sure if that's both titles or one, but anyway, dancing. And he said he's always positive because he is, it's part of his blood, part of his nature. He's be positive. He's a B positive blood type. So before I ask, yeah, and Jenna said, agree. I agree, Cindy. Before I'm going to ask you, Nicole, how do you feel? I just wanted to say that if any of you have a problem to do a Mrs. Spots, there's two backups. And Jenna will back up and I will do a backup. So for Therese, she has every last Thursday of the month, she has another commitment for a few months still. So every last Thursday of the month, I will be then doing her half an hour, Mrs. Spots. But any of you, if there's something coming up or you urgently need to go, if and Jenna cannot, I will be, or I will be. If I cannot, and Jenna will take care of your Mrs. Spots. So there is a backup, my beautiful one. So never fear if something comes up. We are here to support. We are just. I'm just so thankful for you to host these sessions because this was a dream of mine more than 6 months ago. It's now actually 7 months ago, Dor. Can you believe it? I spoke to Dor about my vision that God gave me, the LP of Elvis Presley, Return to Sender, and the 70 pots pouring out diamonds. That's what I told her. This was what God showed me, and I know I must do this thing. So, my beautiful Nicole, how do you feel being a Mrs. Potts?
Well, I love it. And what was interesting, something Portia said earlier, and I thought I was going to be the one infusing people with wisdom and infusing people with positivity, but just as you give out, you get back. And what I didn't realize, it was going to fill me up so much. Not my wisdom, but the wisdom from others. And the fact that the hearts in that room are so big. They're just in this whole group are so big of wanting to give back. But when you can give and that get filled up again from your giving, I just think that's so awesome. And I have to give a shout out to Anjana today because I was telling the people in my room that, my mom always said, because I have spiritual ideas and I've always just been kind of out of the norm. I always marched to my own beat, did what I wanted, even when I got grounded. I still did what I wanted. And my mom would tell people, oh yeah, she's the weird one. She's a little bit odd to like relatives and friends. And I'm like, yeah, am I really that weird? And Jana says today, you're rare. I'm rare.
Wow.
And I'm like, oh my God, all these years I've been rare. And I
Wow.
thought, I'm going to remember that. That made such an impact on me for being called, the strange one. She's the odd one. She never wore a bra. She never did this. She never, all these things. And I thought, well, if I'm weird, it's just who I am. You either like me or you don't, but I'm rare.
You're rare. Wow. I
I'm
love it.
rare. I do too. That word never entered my space to think of. So think about that, what I was given today. It's huge. It's
Wow. That's
huge. And
amazing.
that's why I love it. I mean, there's so much wisdom that's being shared by everyone to everyone. Everyone
Wow.
gets a piece of it, and it's beautiful.
I love it. I'm going to give you now, Tom. I just want to say, and Jenna said we started on the 6th of September 2023. So in March, it is 7 months. But I had this dream about 2 months before that. And then I said to Dor, I don't know what I'm going to do about this. And then it just came, God showed me, and it came around because I said to Dor, there's so many lonely people that I've met through the coffee chats. But I know, and we actually discussed. She said, "God will show you the way," and then I got showed the way with the LP and the beautiful Mrs. Potts kettles with the the diamonds. Here's my beautiful Portia.
I want to respond to what Nicole just said. Being called weird is a compliment. Weirdo 2.0. That's literally what I've adopted. I mean, it's just like rare. I think that applies to so many of us who do extraordinary things, right? Saneet, when you asked me, Cindy, Nicole, and Dar to host your Mrs. Potts, I think all of us had to be a little bit rare to say yes to a complete stranger who we haven't seen. That's like, just taking a leap into the street knowing that there's no cars coming, right? And I think to the point, like, it's that faith and that trust, right? When we want something greater, when we can see something bigger for our life, it takes the faith the size of a mustard seed, right? And we never know how us saying yes to a calling, a mission, or whatever it might be is also saying yes to somebody else learning how to dance to their own drum beat again.
Yes. Wow. You
Love
are
that.
wise, my beautiful Portia, and I love you. You are now the first one that's gonna get the chance to ask any Mrs. Potts a question. I just want to say, and Jenna said you are funny, Portia.
She is.
I am not funny. I inhale puns and exhale sarcasm every day, 24/7, 365. I'm like a Jacqueline in the box. You don't know what you're going to get, and neither do I. I think now you can just hand me the toilet paper. I'm through. Okay. Um, so I guess it must be comedy hour. So you want me to ask one of the Mrs. Potts a question?
Yeah, any questions?
Any question? So I would say my infamous question that I ask every single day, and I'm going to go a little deep. I'm going to ask
Okay.
Dar because Dar, you've been seasoned in the Mrs. Potts space. So Dar, what would you say is number one, the gratitude that you have for doing this Mrs. Potts, and when you decide to transition from doing the Mrs. Potts, whether you hit the lottery and you move to Puerto Rico or somewhere, what would a piece of advice would you give to the next generation of Mrs. Potts to keep up the standard or legacy?
Wow.
Wow, wonderful question, Portia. Thank you so much. And as you're speaking and asking, I'm connecting with my spirit to listen well. And gratitude is one of the number one tools that helps keep me from going into a downward spiral, um, because it does something to the brain. So there are things I understand about what helps the brain create the endorphins and the dopamines that we need for feeling well. And I've been through a lot of grief like you have, Portia. Different, we're not apples to apples, but I understand grief very well. So gratitude is enormous. It's an enormous tool. And for those coming behind me, my prayer is anyone that would come behind me would feel that confidence in somebody greater than them, to know the love and the value that everyone has to this wonderful, amazing, loving God for me, and how much he wants us to prosper and to feel joy and to experience peace. So it's a dependency not on people, not on me. It's a dependency on a power greater than me, and it's released me from so much pressure, self expectations. It's teaching me how to truly love myself. And it's one day at a time for me. Thank you, God, for that. One day at a time philosophy. Um, God's got a plan for every single one of us. So I would just hope that every individual would really truly know their value and how value they are, and that they've got so much to contribute to society. Knowing our value, I think, is imperative. And most of us don't. Most of us do not know our true value. So, and how much we can contribute. And you know what? When I get out of myself, that's when I get over myself. That's when I can laugh at myself. That's when I can contribute to other people. And it's so rewarding. That's why we women are involved in this. Anjana knows this as well. Bringing laughter, bringing joy, bringing energy, bringing peace, bringing a listening ear, an open heart. Not so much giving advice because, my situation might be different from someone else's, but to listen and to, I pray. I pray a lot. So pray for all of you for your success and to be fulfilled. And as Sanet taught me, I am so blessed to be me. You are all so blessed to be you. Hope you all experience that and know it. That's my word for the year, know. Know, a knowing a deeper level of a relationship with my God.
Wow, amazing. I remember so clearly when I said to in one group, I am truly privileged to be me. I got a message, private message. Get over yourself. Your head is not that big, although you wear a hat. And I just smiled and I just sent the person a kiss because I knew he saw me reading it. I kissed him. I didn't say a word because later on he asked apologies because he didn't know me. And when he started to get to know me, I understand exactly why I am honored and privileged to be me. So I don't know why I want to mention it, but just want to mention it. And Jenna said we are valuable and make others feel valuable is the ultimate. Wow. Thank you,
Mhm.
my beautiful Dar. Do you've got a question that you want to ask any of our Mrs. Potts?
What one thing do you do that makes you feel complete? Is there one thing that makes you feel gratified?
Who do you want to ask, my beautiful Dar?
I'd like to ask all of them,
Oh,
because,
okay. All of them.
including you, Sanit. Can't get Sanit, Sanet, Sanoot.
Okay,
Like
so
a song.
yes. Cindy, you can go first.
So Dar, so you asked what does each of us do to know that we're complete? Is that right? Did I get that right? Yeah, we all talk about it. We've all said it. Gratitude, I think, is just the biggest practice of having that connection, if you will, to everything and everyone. So just being in that flow, to me, it's gratitude practice. Bottom line, it's gratitude practice. Staying in that. Once you're in gratitude, I'm in my flow. I feel connected to everything, everyone. All if there was any judgments going on, it all dissipates because I just understand that we are all so connected. Everything, whether it's human, non-human, I mean, none of that matters because it's all energy anyway. So we're all connected in some way. So just having that place of gratitude with an open heart, yeah, I think that would be it.
Wow,
Keep it simple.
beautiful. Thank you. For me, it's love and gratitude. And then and Jenna said connection with all you beautiful people feeds my soul. Beautiful. And you, my beautiful Nicole?
I have to go with the gratitude because when I wake up in the morning, I sit there and think, I wish everyone could wake up feeling like this. Like so grateful for when you first open your eyes and you realize you're alive. Secondly, for that breath you're taking, you're like that, people think these miracles have to be these big, huge things. And to me, it's like that first, I'm breathing all night long, obviously, but when I wake up and I recognize it. I'm just like, I am so lucky. And like you said, I'm lucky to be me. I finally have come to a point in my life where I accept me, I love me, and it would be gratitude, Dar. It really would. That has changed my life. Mhm.
Beautiful. So, ladies, we've still got about 9 minutes left. So, my beautiful Portia, Can you answer, Dar?
Yeah, I'm going to answer it a little different because I start my day off with gratitude every single day. I write in my gratitude journal. But I would say what really brings me so much fulfillment and replenishing in my soul is being of service. And what I mean by that is I grew up in a household. My mother was very militant, and she was in the military. And one of the things that she always said to each of us is everybody has the ability to learn. Everybody has the openness to care. And for the past couple of weeks, I've had the opportunity to go above and beyond for people behind the scenes. They wouldn't even noticed it, but I don't do it for the recognition. Hence why I'm not mentioning what the situations were. But for me, I'm just grateful that God implanted in me this notion of go do it, Portia. And I said to God years ago, send me, send me. And so for me, what always fills my cup is knowing that I was there for somebody who needed somebody, right? Because connection is so key in our society. And that gives me gratitude. Gratitude knowing that somebody else is able to smile again, is able to enjoy life a little longer, whatever that might look like, or experience even an ounce of joy, knowing that somebody saw them, somebody cared. So just like what you mentioned, Nicole, how Anjana said that you're rare, that's a rare act because I think we in our society put so much emphasis on love and unconditional love. That's real unconditional love. It has no conditions because I don't expect anything back, but I just know in my heart that it'll be taken care of. But I know that me doing that simple step, like we always say, do unto others as we wish to be treated. I know for me going that extra mile, it'll be rewarded in some way, but it's not about the reward. It's about being of service.
Oh,
Beautiful.
my
Here.
beautiful Portia, when a week after my birthday, God gave me this vision for Soul of a Diamond, the magazine, and I spoke to Sanet today. I said, I never, if it was not for that lowest low point in my life, I would have never come to the conclusion about Soul of a Diamond, the book compilation, the magazine, and now we're doing issue 8 this month. We're going to do issue 8 this month. But the thing is for me that I have trust and I've delivered as was if it was for me, because I would have loved to come on a TV show to tell my story, and then I would have loved to read my story in the magazine. So everything I did as if it was for me. How would I feel when I see this? And then I just not think is I'm not saying I want recognition, but I know the ladies were so appreciative of what I have done. But first of all, what would have loved? Because if I love it with all my heart, being on a TV show or in the magazine or a chapter in a book, then my beautiful ladies will also love that. So I love that because sometimes if you think you are not good enough, then you will not rethink beautiful things for yourself, and that will prevent you from servicing others. So that was just my feeling when you say that. So my beautiful Cindy, do you have a question for either Portia or for Nicole?
Ah, pressure, pressure. Um, Portia, I want to know what costume you're going to wear next.
Now, wait, it wouldn't be a surprise if I let the Jack in the Box out too early, Cindy. Now, okay, I own over 50 something costumes. So,
Don't Darcy's beating you. Darcy's beating you.
yeah, I own over 50 something costumes. So, if you want, I can go put one on right now if you want. But I would have to say when Halloween time comes around, my goal this year is to dress from the 90s, different TV
Mm.
shows from the 90s. That's what I'm aiming for because Halloween was a big thing in my house. We would decorate the front yard. We had the fog machines, and I recognized that, Cindy, for the first time last year, that I was grieving that memory. Bless you. That I was grieving that connection because of my mom's transition. So this year, my goal is to really do it up for Halloween.
Wow, amazing.
Thank
So,
you.
my
Well, I
beautiful
can't wait to
ladies,
see what you're going to wear next.
yes, do you want Portia to quickly put something on?
Go and put something out here. I'll be right back, y'all. I'll be right
Come
Okay,
back.
on, yeah, do it.
okay.
Surprises.
So, my beautiful Nicole, my question to you is, uh, my question to you is, being a Monday Mrs. Spot is like so daunting because people had a beautiful weekend, and when I said will you do Mrs. Spot, you said yes. Wasn't it a little bit? Okay, let me just mute. Where can I
Portia.
mute it now? Oh, there, she muted herself. Wasn't it daunting to say yes? I will do a Monday because remember, a Monday people is just picking themselves up for the week.
Mhm. Yeah, and Monday's like that day that everyone dreads.
Yes.
Everyone dreads Monday. And so, what if we could have something so uplifting on a Monday that all of a sudden Monday becomes a beautiful day, which it can be, and it leads you into an even better week? So that was kind of my thought process with that. So that's really what I'm striving for is to make it, that nice step into Tuesday and the rest of the week. Ah,
Wow.
You
And
know,
your
I'll
my
have to say, I have to say that I think every day is daunting because of people's time and they're all so busy. So Sunday for me is like people are always with their families, they're at the church, they're doing other things. And so it was daunting for me as well, but that's why I had to get into it.
yes.
I love those characters.
Be-do, be-do,
oh
be-do.
my goodness. And Portia, you are so beautiful, my beautiful one. Poker face.
Oh my gosh. Only her. Only her.
Oh
Cute,
no. Oh,
cute.
thank you, my beautiful Portia. So, my beautiful ladies, can you see Portia? Let me see if I can do this. Just give me 1 second. Oh, Cindy, that's for you. That you are on the spotlight now. So, just give me now. I'm gonna get her. Yeah, yeah. Ah, there you are. Oh wow, I love it. I love it. Now, let me bring all of you back.
Love the minions. They're so cute.
Yeah, but this thing is hot.
Yeah.
I've
Oh,
been meaning in
Okay,
one
you can
reason
take it
to.
off.
Yeah, this thing is hot before I start sweating.
Yeah, you can take it off.
Oh,
So, my beautiful ones, I think we've got time for a dance, a short dance. And then I just wanted to say, my beautiful ones, anyone on the Diamond Beauties, you are more than welcome to come to any Mrs. Spots and come and enjoy yourself. Come be there and just be. You don't have to say anything. There's a few ladies that really don't want to put their camera on.
mhm.
I will always urge you to please put your camera on because then that connection, you are making a connection. Even if you don't want to say anything, but if people can see you on screen, they know that if you need some help or they need to pray for you, they can see it. I've got a I've got a way that I when I do go to any meetings, the first thing I do, I pin everyone. Doesn't matter what meeting I am. I go on to each and every person that has their camera on. I pin them and I look them in the eye and I will say, you are so beautiful. I'm sending you love and kisses. That person doesn't even know it. But from my side, I am sending them love. Then I will go to the next one. And then I will see this person has very sad eyes. I will say to God, my beautiful Lord, whatever is making this lady sad, please help her to come through that. Show her some fun and happiness. And that's how I go through everyone. I pin everyone, and people don't know it. So, my beautiful ladies, even coming to the Mrs. Spots, please put on your camera. You can mute yourself if you want to, but put on your camera because a connection can only be made when people can see you and they can actually feel your energy, feel your spirit by you putting your camera on. Okay. That's
Or put
it.
a mask on.
You're all mask. Portia, you are so in Afrikaans oulik, and Dar will know the word oulik is when you say to a child, "Oh, you are so good. You are so oulik." It's an Afrikaans word, so yes. So my beautiful Dar, before we gonna dance, is there one last word that you want to tell the ladies in our group?
Yeah, just look up. If you're feeling sad, just look up and trust the higher power that he cares for you, and just choose to believe that there's somebody greater than you that's watching out for you.
I love it. Thank you, my beautiful Dar. Cindy?
I'm just going to say, everyone out there, you're welcome to join, to come, to commute, to basically connect. Um, be open and come. Truly, it's warm, it's safe.
Fun.
Let's connect. Let's connect.
Thank you, beautiful. Portia, Portia Key.
I got one. We may have 99 problems, but 1,000,001 reasons to be grateful.
Oh my goodness. Ladies, I can just tell you on a Saturday, we are laughing ourselves in stitches. I'm telling you now. Nicole, for you, my beautiful one.
I would have the same thing as Cindy. Love yourself enough to give this to yourself because it's safe, it's for you. We don't judge. And even if we're talking about one subject and you want to bring something else up, that's okay. We're here for any subject that comes into our room. We will address it with kindness, with love, and with no judgment.
Wow, I love it. Ladies, will you have a dance with me?
Bring it on
Here
like
we,
Donkey Kong.
here we go. Portia, this thing it can be poker face, but we're not allowed to play it, so we will play my song.